Thanks for tuning in for today's segment of Cult Fiction, a show where we're pretty sure all the views on this episode will come straight from our team. I'm your host, Lexi Mozinski. Today we will be diving into horror movies because why not start Halloween 6 months early? I'm joined today by Paige, Dominica, and Sean. Together we will be discussing horror movies and comparing them on a variety of topics. We will then show a multimedia piece created by Nick Micah, and then we will wrap up today with each of us giving our movie recommendations because why not take a bunch of college students' opinions? Alrighty, let's get started with our discussion. I know, Dom, you wanted to talk about the new and old version of It.
So I've always loved the old It film. Big fan of it, and was really excited to see the new one to see if there's any changes or whatnot. If they kind of kept the same feel of it. And I was honestly rather disappointed when watching the new It film because they kind of just destroyed the whole old creepy feel of, the clown's makeup overall was great, don't get me wrong, but they added more comedy to it, in my opinion. The little kids are super funny and whatnot, but there was very little horror to it, in my opinion. I mean, the CGI was very intense and whatnot, and I don't know, I just wasn't a huge fan.
Weren't there like more jokes and stuff that the kids were making or something like
yeah.
that? I didn't personally see it myself, but I heard that there was a lot of
it was funny, don't get me wrong, like in that sort of aspect, but going off, in a horror direction, I don't know, I kind of think they just ruined the whole feeling of it, in my opinion, but that's me.
Paige, I know you saw it too.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think that the horror aspect was taken away just a little bit. I think it leaned more toward, like a casual thriller more so than, it was like more jumpy than, like as something would be in a horror movie. But I liked the comedy aspect. Maybe I just liked the comedic relief, I guess, a little bit more than some people. But yeah, I kind of liked how the kids were more whimsical in this one, not so serious, but... another thing that I noticed is that the old one kind of made you guess what the plot was about, and this new one kind of like laid it out for you more clearly. So I don't know which way. I kind of like the ambiguity of the first one, in my opinion. So
Will that take away the mystery, though?
Right.
I don't know. I guess it depends on what you like the most. So gotcha. Cool.
I only saw the new It, so I don't really have anything to base it off of. I thought it was fine. It definitely, I can agree though. It focused a lot on the kids, and it was funny, but it felt more like a comedy that also had like jump scares in it. So it just was this really interesting blend, and it was kind of hard to pick a tone of it. Kind of hard to like decide what like the tonality of this is going to be. But yeah, it was fine. CGI was kind of took me out of it at times, but definitely like the makeup department, they absolutely crushed it, and especially in the acting too. Like all around, really good acting. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet he's been in a lot of like horror stuff too. So that makes sense.
And he's probably going to continue. He's got a bright career in the horror genre for sure.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good stuff. Well, we talked about horror movies, but what about like TV shows? We got plenty of awesome horror TV shows. American Horror Story, anybody? It's pretty awesome.
Yes, I loved the first 3 seasons. Those were my top 3 favorite, especially season 2, Asylum. I know you're a fan of that also, Lexi.
Oh, yes, that is my favorite season.
Just the whole like gory feel of it and whatnot. Total fan of that. Third one I loved because the Coven series and whatnot. And then I loved the first one just because they had a sort of different story in every episode. They took you back to a certain situation back in time and whatnot, and then brought it back to the current days and whatnot. So I really liked it.
Yeah, in the series, like, I guess there's some connections between each different, like, season and stuff. Like, I know that there's one character in Asylum, her name's Pepper, and then she's in Freak Show later. So it's really cool to see, like, all of those linear elements, like, going through, each of the
And then
seasons.
Jessica Lange's character, she kind of relates back to certain characters throughout the different seasons also. I think it was in the first season she was saying how she used to be an actress or whatnot. And then in Freak Show,
She is like an actress, technically, and then the ringleader and all
I feel like
that
that
cool
kind
stuff.
of correlates with one another also.
All the connections, really cool. Awesome.
yeah, there's supposed to be some underlying theme, but I think we're gonna figure that more out toward the end of the series once they decide to stop filming.
I'm curious when they're going to stop, because Colts was season 7?
Cold was 3.
Wait, no. Colt was 3?
Yeah.
No, Colt was the last season, I thought.
Oh, you're right, yeah. I was thinking
Coven
of
was 3,
yeah.
And then Colt was the last season, because that
Colt
one
was
was all about, like, political stuff. And I'm curious where they're going to take the next season. Has there been any talk about that? Does anyone know? Or like,
I honestly have not. I've only heard of the new Stranger Things that they're coming out.
We're gonna get to
already
that.
season 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Halloween
again.
I'm assuming everybody here has watched Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
by everybody, I mean also the people watching the show. Because who hasn't watched Stranger
Exactly.
Things? It's so good.
And if you haven't, go on Netflix right now. Get a free trial of Netflix. and
Yeah,
go
it's
watch
Just
it.
binge watch the
2
whole
days.
thing.
Yes.
80s synth
Yeah.
all over the place.
Oh my gosh,
Dungeons
yes.
and Dragons.
Steven
small
Spielberg,
children,
Stephen King, yes.
aliens all over the place.
So
You
good.
know, it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
and
super
that's
good.
and it's also like it's a little bit different from something like American Horror Story, where it's completely new settings each time. It just plays out just like a long movie, broken up into segments. Fantastic. Absolutely love Stranger
It's
Things.
super good. And plus it has so much like character to it, like with
Definitely.
how
Very well
like
written.
everything is built and put together. Like you really care
Yeah.
about the people who are in the show. Like they become real, like
Yes.
almost. So, and I thought like all of the CGI and stuff was really good.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like
yeah.
the monsters look so scary.
Yeah, and they like don't. It's not too much, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like with it, they just made it way too much. But
Yeah.
then with Stranger Things, it's just enough.
Yeah.
And you don't really see that as often in like TV shows that have like really good CGI,
Mm-hmm.
like
Right.
especially for horror
Even
themed
on
stuff.
Netflix too. So
Yeah.
it's pretty good for being a Netflix
Oh, it was
film.
super good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any
Okay.
other lasting TV shows on anyone's mind, or?
Really, the only horror TV show I've watched is, well, Stranger Things isn't really horror,
I
but
do watch The Exorcist. There's been 2 seasons so far, and then the first season
Oh, it's
kind
a
of.
series?
It's a series, yes, but it kind
Nice.
of relates back to the Exorcist film.
Okay,
that was,
cool.
What, from the 90s, I believe.
Yeah.
And
dear.
so it kind of takes you the story of what happens after. It's the daughter of, can't remember her name right now, but the main character, the woman, it's her daughter in the show, and then how she gets possessed, basically.
Oh, cool.
And there's like a certain priest and whatnot that helps her out throughout the series, but it's really good.
Awesome. That'll be another one that I'll have
Yeah.
to go look for and
Yeah.
watch. You
For
said it's on
sure.
Netflix?
Really?
Okay.
Wait, no, Hulu, I'm sorry.
Hulu. Huh?
All right. I
Either
have
one.
Hulu too.
Either
We're okay.
one. Let's go.
We're
Good,
safe.
We're good.
All right. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, guys. Let's wrap up this part of discussion. Now it's time for our video segment of the week. Today's video is brought to you by caffeine. Caffeine because sleep is a figment of your imagination. In today's video, Nick has a thrilling encounter with a being that's on the rather slender side.
Oh. I can't find my brother. He ran off yelling. Yelling he's watching. I can feel him watching me.
Thanks for joining us on Cult Fiction. We will now go around the table and talk about our recommendation on horror movies that you should watch, giving each movie a 1 out of 5 cult point on how quickly you should watch it. 1 being, don't bother, and 5 being, forget you have friends tonight, you're watching this. We at Cult Fiction would like to say that we are not liable of any ghosts or demons that may arise after watching these movies. All right, Dom, let's start with you.
Well, I have honestly not seen too many horror films lately, but one that I will always enjoy is Sinister.
Ooh, I still have to see
Yeah,
that.
I've only seen the first one. I've heard the second one's just as good, but I just know that it's like one of the ones that actually truly scared me.
that one definitely
Just the
kept me
whole-
up at night.
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely. Just the whole premise of it, I
Yeah.
think, was all around great.
Was it about a demon or like a ghost? Like, what was it
It
again?
was like this creep. I don't even know how to describe
This
it.
is like
but-
some like pagan
Yeah.
kind of belief. Yeah, but it's like kind of like a demon then, I think.
Yeah, just the whole plot line of it was great in my opinion. Yeah, that's like the last one that I've seen that I could truly say scared me.
And Ethan Hawke is great. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
was like the main actor.
Yeah.
in it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a pretty good actor too. So I
Yeah.
definitely need to see that still. Isn't there like 3 or is there 2?
I know there's at least 2.
Okay,
That's
there's
my
2.
knowledge. I would give it a 9.
9?
For Ethan scale, yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
We're doing 1 to 10, right? 1 to 5?
Actually, 1 to 5.
So 4.5.
4.5, maybe.
4.5.
4.5 sounds good. 4.5
We'll
cult
leave it
points it
4.5.
is. All
Oh,
right, cool.
perfect.
Awesome. Thanks. Paige.
Yeah, so the one I want to talk about is called The Visit. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie, and he is a great like thriller horror director and writer. I would give it, before I talk about it a little bit, I would give it a 4, and that's because it kind of kept me up at night for a while.
Those are the best.
Yeah, that's when you know it's good. The premise of it is 2 grandkids go and visit their grandparents on a farm. They live on a farm, and the mom ends up not going with them, and the kids are by themselves with the grandparents, and just creepy stuff happens. I won't give it away, but yeah, it's just like it's very jumpy, and it's kind of it's not realistic in the sense, but it's based on like reality. So,
is there like supernatural stuff in it, or
a little bit of supernatural.
So it's kind of
too
more
much.
like, is it more
Yeah,
like
it's based
thriller-y?
on- yes, very thriller-y.
Like psychological?
Psychological, yeah.
Those are the best.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Those are the best.
Big fan.
Rating?
4.
4.
Oh yeah, you said 4. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Okay.
And Sean?
My recommendation, kind of breaking the rules a little bit, is a TV show. It's on Netflix. I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And it's Scream, the TV series. And
Isn't it supposed to be a comedy, or is it?
I mean, it's kind of lighthearted. The only I would give it a 4 out of 5 cult points. The only reason is because like I saw the thumbnail. I was like, that looks awesome. But then I saw at the bottom of the thumbnail, and this is my reason for not giving it a full 5, is that it was produced by MTV.
Oh.
So I'm not like a big
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of MTV, but I think that they did a pretty good job adapting the movie into a TV show to make it last a little bit longer. Obviously, the movie is like 20 years old now, probably
Yeah.
more than that. So times have changed a little bit in that sense, but this new show kind of adapted like the whole just calling somebody anonymously over the phone to more of like a social media approach. Obviously, we're all very reliant on our social media accounts, and it just kind of like explores a little bit of the differences, the way people behave on social media, and how how their actions have consequences. In this case,
So they've kind of incorporated that element into the new series.
Yeah.
You think about 20 years ago when Scream
Little
originally came out,
different.
there wasn't really any social media or
they
anything
they
like
had
that.
phones.
So.
That was
Yeah.
about it. Like not even really cell phones. It was
Gotcha.
big, wall phones. And the call came from
Big wall
inside the
phones.
house. But no, it's got like a different take on it, and it definitely has some good scares. Obviously, it's like a TV 14 rating, so it's nothing too crazy, nothing too gruesome. But there's still some good moments, It'll keep you a little bit on the edge of your seat for a bit. And good news is it's a TV show, so it kind of lasts a while. You don't have to watch it all in one night. If you
Nice.
did, you'd be a little insane. But yeah, 4 out of 5 for that. Obviously, there's going to be some teen drama, but there's still some good tension in it.
Nice. Awesome. For me, I'd probably say The Fourth Kind is my recommendation because it is a movie that I still remember, and I watched it when I was like 14. After I watched it, I could not sleep for, I think, 3 or 4 days. Like, there's this creepy, like, alien thing that's, like, abducting people, and these people keep waking up at 3:30 or something in the morning, and I swear for, like, those 3 days I kept waking up at 3:30, and it was the scariest thing ever. I'm not even kidding. It was terrifying. So that is definitely a movie that I would recommend. It's, like, just thriller, and it has like a documentary feel to it, and it's like really good. So I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5 cult points.
Yeah,
So,
I had that whole nightmare thing with The Hills Have Eyes too.
yeah.
When they were in the desert and whatnot. I'm like, I'm never going to Arizona, New Mexico, or what. I mean, I'd love to go now, but when I was little, I just refused to ever travel to the desert after seeing that movie. And those
Oh.
creepy, I don't even know what they were, like zombified humans or whatnot.
Yeah, no, never gonna sleep again after that. No. So if you watch that, that is definitely one that you will not sleep after watching. So definitely recommend it. All right, and this concludes today's segment of Cult Fiction, where we explored the scary and the creepy. Join us next time when we show you a whole new world by diving down the rabbit hole. A shout out to our roundtable panel, Paige, Dominica, and Sean, for being here today. Follow us on Twitter, #AU Spartan Media, to keep up with everything Cult Fiction. I'm your host, Lexi Mosinski, and I have homework to do. See you next time.